Hey YouTubers, this is my 8-hour update on the quads. I lubed my chain before I headed out today, and then it proceeded to come off 3 or 4 times before I got home. When I took the cover off, this and this bolt and somewhat to this bolt, they let the axle move to tighten. They were loose. And then I fiddled around. You got to get a short, stubby 1/2-inch wrench to work them inside nuts, and there's just 2 lock nuts on the outside. Got it tightened up. I hope that takes care of my problem. But you know, I go 275, and I've had a backpack, and I've been riding down over the hill pretty hard on it. And you know, it's about time for the chain to stretch out a little bit. Also, I need to put some penetrant oil on the spring on that little belt, the chain tensioner a little bit up here, because it doesn't seem to want to go up enough. But man, my chain had gotten really loose, and now it's tight. So hopefully that'll take care of my problem. Also, you'll notice another little modification I made. My exhaust was hitting up against my I was beating up against my brake, and then a part up there. I'd put some heat tape on there, and that was tape was supposed to go on a header, but it started melting off. Maybe it was just too old or something, I don't know. But anyway, I didn't totally take care of my rattle. I also had to repaint this a couple times because my tire was coming up and rubbing on it. What I did was I found an old spring here. I put in there to keep this pushed over, and then I moved this bracket from here to here, back to here. It raised this up, and because my fat backside was causing that to rub on that, I went up to the 3rd notch. It was in the 2nd, went up to the 3rd notch. It didn't seem to rattle, and well, I heard it maybe a couple times today, but a lot better than what it was. Everything was going fine, didn't even rub it until I lost my chain a couple times. When it went, I thought, oh no, the belt popped, because it was like I was going up a hill, really getting onto it, and then all of a sudden it was like, bah! Chain popped off front and back. So I put it back on, went a little more, and it came off. And at the same time, you want the weird coincidences here, Allie was riding hers, and it popped off. So poor little Steve on his little 90, which, you know, other than 5 batteries and the rear bearings, has never had a problem with his little 90. Well, except for sucking in the water and missing a little bit every once in a while. So Allie's, which had the bin exhaust, doesn't never rattle. So, well, of course, she goes 90 pounds, so, you know, But her chain came off too. Now, it's a little bit loose. Actually, it's fairly loose, but that wasn't why it came off. These 2 little nuts over here had totally come loose. You can see them right there. They were just sitting over in here. And the axle had slid over, and the gear was coming out here. See, this axle is machined, and the gear fits up against it, and there's splines in there, and there's splines in there for the brakes. So I had to tighten that up. Now I want to tear hers apart and tighten her chain up a little bit. But that's to be expected, you know. 6, 8, 10 hours. They probably got about 8 to 10 hours on them, but somewhere between 6 and 10 hours, you're probably going to have to tighten your chain. But man, we've been running the poop out of him, haven't we, little buddy? Yeah. Say, we went riding almost every day this week, haven't we? Yeah. The little 90's still holding up. 8 years old, and it goes pretty good. Hey, what did you do yesterday?
Crashed.
Yeah, came off the bike, and then the second time he wrecked, rolled over on him. So anyway, but other than that, and adding the air intake pipe for the CVT, that's about all I've done with them. Now I think my exhaust rubbing and stuff like that. Now the rattling was just the way it was bent. Well, I mean, that one was straight, so yeah, if it gets damaged in shipping and you're bent a little bit, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But if it's not damaged in shipping, it rattles, or it rattles for me. So we're getting up to about the 10-hour oil change. We may go for a little light riding tomorrow, and then we'll do an oil change. I want to make sure my chain stays on. But 10-hour service. And also, if any of you know these Honda GY6 engines, is there a separate oil in the gear case back here? It says about it, but the worthless instruction manual doesn't tell you how to drain it or fill it. It talks about a plug. Well, I ain't found no plug on the top of it. There is a bolt on the bottom like to drain it. It doesn't even give you an interval to change it. But it does say between 400 and 450 milliliters to change it. So just if you know anything about that, let me know. I don't know how often you should change it, but it'll probably be a longer interval. But anyway, that's the 8 to 10 hour update. We're going to go riding one more time before we change, do the 10-hour service. But I haven't had any problems with it. Allie's throttle cable was working loose and she had a lot of free play on it. I tightened it with my fingers. It's just this adjustment thing here. You see, she got that little bit of that's a lot better. She did have a lot of free play, but I just tightened up them bolts. I got to actually get a wrench on them. But anyway, other than some little maintenance like that, they've been going pretty good. So I got to tighten up her chain and take them out and see if they throw the chains anymore. But yeah, surprised me when it happened, because I was going up a hill and when it popped on, first thing that hit my mind was the belt. I thought I'm like, wow, if the belt's only lasts 8 to 10 hours, that's it. But anyway, we'll see. Hopefully this will take care of our problem. And if it doesn't, I'll definitely be back to complain. You know how I am with reviews on stuff. But just being honest, that's everything we did to them so far. Hey, been having a lot of fun on them for what they are. I mean, but anyway, maybe my opinion will change if this doesn't fix my chain problem. But it's aligned perfectly, so I don't see how it could. I checked the overall alignment on it after I tightened the belt. I mean, it's right. So there's no reason for it to come off other than it was loose and I greased it. So hey, later, YouTubers.